Here are our 5 best ways to help your players cut down on strikeouts. One of our top ways to help your players cut down on strikeouts is to teach them how to have an approach. An approach is understanding the pitcher, understanding your swing, understanding the situation of the game, understanding how many outs there are and what you're trying to do at the plate. So often, players just go up there and they're just swinging. They don't have a game plan, they don't have an approach, they don't know what the count is, and they're just going up there swinging with zero approach. So we want to make sure that when we go up to the plate, we know exactly what we're trying to do.
All right, guys, our next best way to help your team cut down on strikeouts is to have a 2-strike approach, or maybe you call it a B swing. All that means is when we get in the batter's box and we have 2 strikes, it can be 0-2, it can be 1-2, it can even be 2-2. We're gonna shorten up our swing. We might choke up a little bit, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna crowd the plate and we're gonna battle. I think too often with 2 strikes, guys get up there and they keep the same swing. They still keep their big leg kick. They're still trying to drive the ball out of the park. But with 2 strikes, our job is to get up there and compete and do whatever we can to extend the at bat. So for some guys, they might start open, they might have a leg kick. All we're gonna do is we're gonna widen out our base a little bit. We're gonna get up on the plate. We might choke up a little bit, and we're just gonna think direct. Get the bat to the ball. What can we do to put this ball in play? It might be to advance a runner. It might just to foul off a bunch of pitches in a row and make that pitcher work. But I'm getting up on the plate. I might get hit by the ball. My leg kick might go from big leg kick to small leg kick. It might go heel up, heel down, or I might even just do no stride. And I might get in there and just be ready to hit from this spot. But again, we're shortening up our swing. Our 2-strike approach is gonna be, what can I do to extend it? What can I do to make this pitcher really work to get me out right here? Because he's earned the right with 2 strikes to make me battle.
Widen the zone. That's another way to help your players cut down on strikeouts. When we look at home plate, we know we're dealing with 17 inches. So I lined up some baseballs across the plate. So with 2 strikes, we might expand it even a little bit further. If you see the red balls, I know that that's most likely for more little league and that sort of thing, and pro ball is probably gonna be maybe 1 baseball wide, but in little league, we may have to expand it 2 baseball wide. Now, the last thing you wanna do is, as a hitter, is have 2 strikes and something's a little bit close and you strike 3 and you're like, oh, but it was that one that was a little bit inside, but you got rung up on it. So we wanna make sure that when we have 2 strikes and we get up to the bat, we wanna make sure that we widen the zone a little bit, up and down, and we're trying to battle those balls. We know that's a ball, but we wanna make sure we don't get called down on it. Maybe we have to fight it off, foul it off. The same with this one. We have to foul it off, and hopefully we'll get another good pitch that we can drive. So widening the zone is a very good way to help your players cut down on strikeouts.
All right, guys, our next best way to help your team cut down on strikeouts is to have an opposite gap approach. And what I mean by that is we have to get comfortable driving the ball the other way. So as a right-handed hitter, my opposite gap is right center. For left-handers, their opposite gap is left center. So I'm gonna talk briefly about our points of contact. Wherever I get loaded to, okay, my front foot is about where I wanna hit that ball down the middle. My front knee is about where I wanna hit that ball on the outside corner. And then all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill in the dots, middle away, middle in, and in. Now, early in the count, in hitters' counts, no strikes, even 1 strike, we have the right to get the barrel out in front, right? We wanna try to do some damage, hit the ball hard, so we're gonna be playing more out in front, more maybe a gap-to-gap approach. Now, with 2 strikes, I have to understand he might be throwing fastballs up, he might be going change-ups or curveballs down and away. So I really wanna look on the outer half of the plate, and I wanna have that opposite gap approach because I need to let the ball travel a little bit deeper. So I'm gonna get up on the plate here, I'm gonna be looking fastball middle away, but it's also gonna give me the ability to adjust to an off-speed pitch, okay? Because if I'm bailing and I'm trying to pull something down the line or trying to hit a homer out to left field, I'm gonna have no chance to adjust to anything soft away. So I'm gonna be looking on the outer half of the plate. My approach and my timing is to drive something to the right center field gap, and then that's gonna give me the ability to make an adjustment and drive an off-speed pitch.
Another way to help your players cut down on strikeouts.
Spoiler alert, strikeouts happen. It's part of the game. So we have to make sure our players aren't afraid to strike out. They don't go up to home plate with that fear of, oh man, I just want to make contact. I don't want to strike out.
So many times we have hitters that they strike out that first at bat, and the next thing you know, you might as well count them out. They're going to strike out 2 or 3 times in their at bat. So as coaches, we have to make sure that we're helping them. If we're in the third base coaching box and they strike out, we're throwing helmets, we're throwing our hats, and we're going crazy. Coaches, that's not going to help your players cut down on strikeouts. It's going to make them afraid to actually strike out. So those are our 5 best ways to help your players cut down on strikeouts.